Testing, 1, 2. Total Drama Pakatu Island. I'm still not sure how I ended up there in the first place. If I had known how many genius-level strategists they were going to throw at me, I'd have just applied for a better internship in neuroscience instead. But fine, I'll bite. 12 years later, look at me now. Still living rent-free in the heads of every viewer who accidentally tuned into that disaster of a competition. I'm basically the masterclass in how to outwit, outplay, and outsmart a bunch of screaming maniacs with zero self-control. If you were expecting a hero's arc, then, well, that's your problem, not mine. Let's be real. My only mistake was not running the show sooner. Sure, I got a little caught up in the chaos of it all, but it only solidified one thing. Never trust anyone who's too emotional. And that, my dear fans, is the core of strategic brilliance. Stay calm, stay collected, and most importantly, always be the one pulling the strings, not the one being yanked around. Classic Scarlett. By the way, I did start a few companies after the show ended. It's not hard when you know how to manipulate not just people, but entire systems. Who would have thought, right? That's right, I'm a genius. But let's not pretend like I didn't invent my success. Did I regret anything? Absolutely not. Regret is for the weak, and frankly, I've always been way too busy being brilliant. Honestly, I can't even be mad about that whole weird villain edit. They didn't even come close to capturing my true potential. The world isn't ready for my level of brilliance. But it's all coming together, one move at a time. Of course, not in any evil type of way. I'm past that. As far as returning for the Aftermath spin-off, I'd be absolutely delighted to make an appearance on there. Jeff and Bridget are one of the very few level-headed individuals that I've somewhat have respect for from their cast. Also, Izzy. I need to run a diagnostic test on you. Brainzilla has caught my attention like never before, and I'm gonna be the one to say that you're pretending to be a nutjob. You know something that a lot of people don't, and I'm gonna find out sooner or later. On that note, I'm extending a friendly request to be on your show. Oh, goodness. One thing I've learned from Total Drama is that you could never leave people in the blind when it comes to your relationship status, right? I guess I can't dodge this forever. Yes, though Max isn't physically attractive by any means, I was quite interested with some of the contraptions he's made in the competition. Looking back, being booted along with him wasn't so bad. But purple hair? You could have done better than that, my dear. I guess if he were to ask me out, I'd probably entertain him. Maybe pick his brain a bit to see where his little noggin is. I'll admit, he isn't as dim-witted as I once presumed. Pretty impressive, actually, for us to only be teenagers back then. Who could ever forget about the dynamic duo? What a pair. I mean, let's be honest. Who else could have managed to be as inept as Chris while somehow staying in charge? The man is a disaster, wrapped in a tracksuit. It's honestly a miracle he didn't get someone killed. Oh, wait. He did. But that was me pulling the strings, not him. As for Chef, yeah, he's the perfect example of someone who thinks they're tough because they have a spatula in hand. Newsflash. Yelling at a bunch of teens and throwing meat at them doesn't make you a culinary genius, Chef. It just makes you a big guy with no real brain power. But hey, I can respect someone who can at least follow orders. As for my future endeavors and projects, oh, I'm far from finished. After Total Drama, I started my own think tank, Scarlett's Institute for Strategic Excellence. You don't get to be this genius by sitting around. And let's face it, I was tired of all these so-called experts in the field who couldn't even run a basic simulation without crying for help. I've helped design several corporate strategies, consulted for tech startups, and even got involved in AI development. But you won't find me flaunting my success like some desperate reality TV has been. So yes, my friends, please be on the lookout for my next online meeting. I'll thoroughly be coaching students on how to make 6 figures by trading and seeing what's up and down on the stock market. Until then, goodbye.